because of how long it takes, you kind of run out of things to talk about. So you literally have examples of members of Congress, reading from a child's book or stuff like that. Now, in his intro, Booker declared that in just 71 days, the president has inflicted harm after harm on American safety, financial stability, the foundations of our democracy, and any sense of common decency.
In this video, Ana Kasparian of the Young Turks reports on the Democrats' complete lack of leadership. Specifically, Ana Kasparian discusses Cory Booker's ridiculous filibuster. With that, let's watch Ana Kasparian continue to rip the feckless Democrat Party.
I'm about to go to the Senate floor where I intend to be recognized, and when I am not going to stop speaking. I'm going to not stop standing. I'm going to go for as long as I'm physically able to go. I've been hearing from people all over my state and indeed all over the nation calling upon folks in Congress to do more, to do things that recognize the urgency, the crisis of the moment.
Democratic Senator Cory Booker has attracted tens of thousands of viewers on the live stream of his filibuster speech, in which he's filibustering no legislation, but you seem to have had some experience with this, Jake.
Yeah, so first of all, I'm going to tell you in a second how many likes he got on TikTok, which is amazing. But I also want to tell you a little bit about the history of the filibuster. The guy whose record he's about to break did something amazing. And something terrible, but I'll get to all that. And by the way, and gross, yes. And Booker has a buddy throughout this entire thing. And why is he his filibuster buddy? I'll explain that too. So it's a really interesting story.
Okay, so as I mentioned, Cory Booker isn't filibustering a bill. There's no legislation or specific legislation that he's filibustering. He's essentially giving this impassioned speech. And by the way, as we speak right now, the speech is continuing. He's still doing it. It's been going on for 23 hours. He's basically doing this in protest of President Donald Trump and his administration's policies. So Booker began this filibuster speech at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Monday night and vowed to speak continuously for as long as he can, as long as his body can handle it. So as of 2 p.m. Eastern time today, Tuesday, he was taking breaks by essentially yielding to questions from his colleagues. Around 52,000 people were actually watching his live stream by early afternoon today. Now, Booker's speech took aim at President Trump, White House senior advisor Elon Musk, and policies, he says, show a complete disregard for the rule of law, the Constitution, and the needs of the American people. And he covered a wide range of topics as well, including healthcare, Social Security, immigration, the economy, public education, free speech, and foreign policy. So based on the reporting so far and based on what I've seen from his speech, it seems as though he is in fact focusing on political issues.
So I know Cory Booker has been getting a lot of grief from Democrats saying, you're not fighting back enough against the Republicans. And then he did that one speech where he was like, what are we supposed to do? We don't have any leverage. So I think he realizes no one looks at him as any kind of effective leader. He's not a great speaker. He's not very dynamic. He's not very engaging. If he stares too long, he kind of has psycho eyes that freak me out. So it's not shocking, but it's just so funny that in response to all that criticism, he thought a filibuster to accomplish absolutely nothing was what was really going to energize his party. And they're saying he got likes or views. I don't care. It accomplished absolutely nothing. Isn't Cory Booker's filibuster, though, like the perfect embodiment of the Democrat Party? Think about it. He talked and talked and talked for what, like a day straight or however many hours straight, but nothing came of it. Nothing's going to get done because of it. It's not like they proposed anything new or proposed compromises with things they don't like that Trump's doing. Just like everything else in the Democratic Party, it's performative. Anyway, let's go back to the video.
Things that the Trump administration has done in previous filibusters, because of how long it takes, you kind of run out of things to talk about. So you literally have examples of members of Congress, reading from a child's book or stuff like that. Now, in his intro, Booker declared that in just 71 days, the president has inflicted harm after harm on American safety, financial stability, the foundations of our democracy, and any sense of common decency. These are not normal times in our nation, and they should not be treated as such in the United States Senate. So in the 15th hour, he said that he still had fuel in the tank. He was still going strong. And to be sure, he's now in his 23rd hour and he's still going strong. About 16 hours and 24 minutes in, Booker looked at the time and said, "We are way behind the schedule of where we wanted to be at this point," but he didn't immediately move to wrap things up. And so to obey my staff, as senators are told to do, I want to move quickly to housing issues. So filibusters, by the way, I'm sure you all know, are supposed to essentially block or delay legislation. And this is how traditional filibusters are done. Like in the Senate, they have the legislative filibuster, which requires 60 out of 100 senators to vote in favor of legislation in order for it to pass. That's called a legislative filibuster. The old school filibuster is what Cory Booker is doing here, where he's just speaking endlessly. In this case, not to block any legislation, but in order to get some attention as he's protesting some of what the Trump administration has been up to. So look, unless special rules are in effect, and in this case they're not, the Senate rules for filibuster are as follows. So a senator who has been recognized by the presiding officer can speak for as long as they wish, and they cannot be forced to cede the floor or interrupted without the speaker's consent. But there are some rules for the speaker as well. The senator must remain standing at all times. And they must speak continuously, more or less. So Booker took some questions from more than a dozen Democratic senators who participated in the proceedings throughout the day. And we're gonna get to the record holder in just a minute, but I wanna stop for you to chime in, Cenk.
Yeah, so first on his filibuster buddy, it's Chris Murphy from Connecticut. Chris Murphy did a 15-hour filibuster earlier, not in this.
If you like watching videos like this one, like and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Let's get back to the video.
Administration, but another first one, and Booker stayed with him throughout. So just as support in the chamber, and this time Murphy has stayed with Booker throughout to ask him a question every once in a while to provide support. Okay, I love that. That's really nice. They should do a buddy cop movie later. Okay, but it's sweet. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, I like that he's fighting back. That's a good thing. So let me give you the upsides and downsides, right? And I like that he's at least getting media attention for these problematic things that the Trump administration and Elon Musk are doing. So if you wanted them to get media attention and fight back, at least you've got that, right? So definitely better than nothing, way better than nothing, okay? Now, having said that, it really is about nothing. Like it's about everything and nothing at the same time. So it's not about a bill, it's not trying to stop a bill, it's not trying to stop a nomination. And I'll take it as long as when it's time to stop a bill, they also filibuster, right?
Yes, yeah.
And so as we just saw a little while ago, there's a continuing resolution that's basically the, to continue the budget, right? And instead of stopping it, it had tons of egregious things we do not agree with. 9 Democrats voted with Trump. Not only did they not filibuster, they didn't block it, they voted with him, right? So when money's on the line.
They said something earlier like that Cory Booker said something like in 73 days, Donald Trump has committed harm after harm on our safety and economic stability. Now, in light of the recent tariffs, I can see where people would agree with him on that. But how has he put harm on our safety? What are you talking about, you idiot? By the way, you're not the most reliable source. Your party's at a 20% approval rate, dummy. This stupid filibuster ain't gonna move the needle. Cenk said, now, it's kind of about nothing, but it's also about everything. No, let's be real clear. It's 100% about nothing. It had zero impact on the American people. Anyway, let's wrap up the video.
The Democrats historically have said, oh golly gee, there was nothing we could do. A filibuster, I've never heard of it. Oh God, did they pass a multi-trillion-dollar tax cut for the rich who are also our donors again?
There was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do.
Right, and that's the Democrats. Yeah. So look, They're getting caught though. Trump's getting caught by his own side. The Democrats are getting caught by their own side. Yep. We're in a different media ecosystem now. So, okay, you do this grandstanding and I'm with you and I'll support it as long as you do it when things are on the line and it's real. And I haven't seen that from Democrats.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, I actually have the exact same take on you on this story because at first I was like, what is this? I mean, this is just theater and I'm sick of theater. However, you also kind of have to take into consideration that at this current moment, Democrats really don't have much power in Congress, right? Like, it's not like they're able to pass their preferred legislation. And so everything that they do to fight Trump is gonna be theater.
I didn't agree with much you two said in this video, but anything they do talking about Trump is going to be theater. Even if it wasn't Trump, everything they do would be theater, except like passing LGBTQFLMNOP laws, stuff that are putting tampons in boys' restrooms. It's stupid. It seems like later in this video, they're going to get to this because Cenk kept saying, I want to tell you about the old record because I guess Cory Booker set a record for the longest filibuster or something. I think the old one was held by Strom Thurmond, who's a racist guy, and he was filibustering against something like desegregation, you know, something just awful that, you know, I don't think many Republicans would support today. And I certainly don't. But who cares that the content of this guy's filibuster was something that we don't agree with? This isn't the NBA. Nothing changes. Democrats aren't going to go down in history with a trophy that says longest filibuster ever. Cory Booker's jersey isn't going to be retired and put up in the rafters. Is length of a filibuster anything voters care about? No, the only people they care about is politicians and media people like the Young Turks here that need a story to report on. And I seem to remember, I don't remember exactly when, it seems like the last few years, 5 years, I don't know, the Republicans were filibustering something and the Democrats called it racist or something. I know there's a story there. I'm probably missing a lot of important details, but I remember them calling filibuster racist. They're just such hypocrites. But we want to hear from you. What do you all think about Cory Booker's filibuster? Did it serve any purpose? Did it change anything? Please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Anyway, as always, really appreciate you watching, and we will see you on the next one.